Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be finishing the last 3 packs or 13 stages of build the Deagostini Collectables release of the Ford GT. So because they are bite-sized chunks in either stage, I thought what I'll do for the end is I'm just going to link every single thing together. That's why we're doing 3 packs together, and hopefully everything's going to go absolutely fine. But if you do want to get this for yourself, I don't think it's available at the moment, but I'm going to put the link anyway on the screen just in case it does come back. Definitely a brilliant build if you are a beginner. I think this has gone together really easy, but we're going to find out how the last 3 packs go. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So it's going to start with stage 98. Here's the magazine. Looking good. And then we have got this side trim panel to do, but that's what we got in this pack. We are putting some stuff in just underneath the windshield here. Looking just like that. Attaching the door by the look of it, so that they're in position like that there. So this is part 98 here. I'm not going to open it because we're not going to need it in this stage. So I'm just going to keep that to one side. Bring over what we've been working on in the last pack, and the first thing I've got to do is put some hood reinforcements just into these areas here. Now these came in the last pack. As you see, I've got a whole pot of stuff that came in the last pack, and I'm going to need these FP01 screws. And quite simply, we're going to be putting this one here just into this position. There is a locating lug on the bottom of it, so that's going to clip on there, and the other one's just going to go on the other side there. Now they're held in from the other side with those FP01 screws. So just get these in from the other side. One there and one on the other side. Perfect. Now I'm going to be mounting the doors in here. Now the hinge is going to go into these 2 holes here. You can see on the top camera there. So what I'm going to do is if I bend these hinges round, put the door into place so that they come out the other side there, then I need one of these sills and an FD01 screw. I'm going to be putting the screw into the inverted side, as you can see there, and screw this in. I'm not going to make it too tight at the moment, just so I can get the other one in. And I need to get this as tight as I can get it. So let me just see how that works. That's the door open and the door closed. Looking good. Okay, we're going to do the same on the other side. There we go. That is the doors in place. As you can see, they're able to open just like that. Excellent. And with both of those in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 99, here's the magazine. Once again, as you can see there, I've got another bit of trim. Don't know if we're using that yet because we're going to be putting the rear view mirror in. And we're also, by the look of it, going to attach this whole top section to the main body of the car. That's going to be fun. Okay. So once again, here's the parts for stage 99. Not going to use them, so I'll put them to one side. Turn over what we just created. And as you can see, just there, probably on the top cap, we've got a place for the rear view mirror. We made that in the last pack. It has got a D-shaped pattern on it, so it can only go in one way. There we go. That's in just like that. Okay, I'm going to bring the car over now. And it's now time to affix what we just created onto the top of the car. So I have zoomed up some of the cameras. And I'm going to open the doors just to make this a little bit easier for me. There we go. That's into position just there. Then I can shut these doors. Turn it over. And it's going to be held in by 4 FD01 screws. Now you may be saying, Wayne, why aren't you putting this on a mat? It's because it's a rally car. I don't want it to look pristine. So those are in these points here, and the same on the other side. Again, when I'm doing things like this, I only put them in really lightly, just so I can make sure it's all not warped and in the correct position. I am using oil. And then once you've got 4 in loosely, make them as tight as you can get them. And there you go, with that in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. So, this is stage 100. Let's see what we're going to be doing. And we've got this large part of the rear of the car here, which we're not actually going to be using. What we are going to be doing, by the look of it, is adding some stuff to the hood. And then, by the look of it, we're putting in some of those trim panels that we had in the last 2 stages. Check this out. Look how big this is. This is part of the hood. Let's open this. And as you can see, this is absolutely massive. Look at that. Okay, we can put that to one side. Bring over the hood that we were working on quite a few times back. Some of you probably put your lock nuts in there. I've left them off for now. I'll put them in at the end. Now in issue 98, we had a deflector just here. Let's open that. And when you put this in, you want it to go in that way. So the bench part, the large part of the bench is going to be sitting at the back. It's just a push in. So there we go. That's the deflector in place. So I can put that to one side. Bring over the car again. And probably best on the top camera, I'm going to be putting this bit of trim in here. So it's going to fit in just like that. And it's held in from the underside. You might be able to see the holes here. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. And they are the FD01 screws. So I'm going to get all of these in. And when that's in place, it should look like that. And that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 101, here's the magazine. And we've now got a rear grille here. I don't think we're going to be putting that in yet. We are saving these because we're going to be putting that trim panel just into the other side. So that's what we're going to be doing in this stage. And just so you can see, these are the parts of that. I'm not going to actually open these. So this time when I put this in, show you on the top camera, just make sure the wires are just going over this ledge here. So when this does go in here, as you can see, they can still move around in there. They're not being pinched or anything, but we are going to need them to be in that place there. Now, if you probably saw, I had to whack that pretty hard because we do have 2 little pegs that we need to put under this panel here just to get that in. And see, the wires are okay here. And once again, it's going to be FD01 screws to hold this into place. I've just turned it over to make sure that these ones are in place as well. In the last stage, I don't think I did that. So I had to karate chop that, as you just saw, into place. But they should be fitting the tabs on this flush underneath this section here. And there you go. That is all there is to do in that stage. So this is stage 102. Here's the magazine. Excellent. You can see we've got some more parts for the trunk section here, but we're going to be working on the hood section, putting this onto the car next, getting this into place, putting these parts in that I was just mentioning in the last stage that I haven't done mine yet. I'm probably still going to leave them out for the minute and put these in last. There's a chance I'm going to lose these, I know that. I have got them. I'll show you that at the end. Put these bits in here, so this is what it's looking like by the end of that stage. So there you go. Here's the parts for 102, but I don't actually need them in this stage. So I will hold them to one side. But I am going to be bringing over this section here. Now I'm just going to take this out. I'm going to put this in as the very last thing that I do on this build. Bring over what we've been working on. So of course I make mistakes so you don't have to, and I've just realised that wires 7 and 6, which I'm just trying to find now, do need to be located 7 along this side here, 6 along the opposite side here. So I'm going to have to try and get this through the chassis somehow. I'm just trying to figure out how to do that. I'm sure there's going to be a way to get this plumbed to the other side. So bear with me while I figure that out. So I've had to settle for a happy medium because this should have really been traced around that side there. I am not going to take all of this off just to do that. So I'm going to leave this the way it is. So I've got 2 wires here, this one here and this one, which should have been coming out there. I'm probably going to have to trace it around here or something. I'll figure something out. But what I am going to do is connect the headlights now. These wires here and here to those lights. And then what I'll do is I'll tidy these wires up afterwards to figure out where I can actually put them. To be honest with you, they're not too bad where they're hidden now. So just sliding this into the position it needs to be. There you go. Probably hide this wire under the spare tyre, actually. I think that's what I'm going to do. If I put that down the spare tyre, you're never going to see it. Excellent. So they're all connected up. Now, back in stage 99, we had these. I'm going to need these now. And put these in here. And this only these, which is going to hold this whole hood section in. So it is made to be able to lift that up, I'm guessing. Put one in the other side. Now, as I said, I'll put this panel here on right at the end, and I'll put the same things that we've got here just into these points to hold that in as well. But that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 103, here's the instructions. Let's see what we're doing. We've got another bit for the rear section now, and it's now that we're actually going to start building that rear section up on the vehicle, as you can see here. So I'm going to get all of these details in. Looks like this is where it's going to mount. I don't think we do that in this stage, actually. It's just showing us where we're going to be doing that. Okay, so here is stage 103. I'm not going to open that yet because we don't need to. What I am going to do now is open stage 101. So bringing over this great trunk section that we've got here, turn it upside down. I'm going to be needing to put this grill just over the positions here, and it's held in with these FD09 screws. And it takes 2 of these screws, so let's get these in. Now we've got these lock latches looking like this. They're going to be going into the panels just on the side here, with the larger section facing down. They're only just pushing, so when they're in, they should look like that. Do the same on the other side. So as you can see, they're in place. Then I've got the rear side reflector looking like this. That's just going to be going on the top camera there into the slot here. Again, it's just a push in. And then finally, this keyhole pattern that we've got on top here is for this tail lamp, which is going into here. Oh, let's get this in. Now the tail lamp is the only one of everything we just put in which needs to have a screw in from the other side. And they are really tiny screws. Check that out. Okay. So just putting that in, probably best on the top camera. Excellent, that's screwed in. I've just noticed one of my things here have just come out. Let me just put that back in. I think I might actually glue that into place. It's not very tight in there. The other one is, just the one on this side isn't. But with all of those details in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 104, here's the magazine, looking like this. And again, we've got some more details to put in there. We're not actually using the parts from this one, but we are going to be using the parts from stage 102 by the look of it. Getting a bit confusing, isn't it? So we get this into place, so it's looking just like this. And again, these are all the parts for stage 104, but I can just leave them to one side. Bring this over, and I want the parts for stage 102. Let's get these open. So first thing to do, I've got these trunk lock latches here to put in. They have got a D-shaped pattern on the back, so it's just a case of pushing these in to the points just here. And one in that side. Excellent. Turn this over, and I've got this plate now to put over the top of both of those panels there. So it's fitted in just like this. We do want to push this down so that the lugs protrude through the other side. It's going to take some pushing, but as you can see, you can get that quite flat in there. Then I need the parts from stage 103, which I've got here. And we're going to have this way round, probably best on the top camera, with these 2 holes going over the lugs underneath just there. So I'm just going to line this up into position. So it's going to sit just like that. Now it's held in with FD01 screws in these 2 holes here, FD01 screws just in the 2 holes at the back. That's perfect. And with that in, that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 105, here's the magazine. Not many more to go now. We've got these parts here, which we're not using from stage 105. They're going to be going in later. But it looks like we are using the parts from stage 103 and 104 here. So they're going in just like this. So by the end of it, it's looking just like this here. So once again, here's the parts for stage 105. Don't need them at the moment. Put that to one side. But here is the parts for stage 104. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got this pipe looking section here, which is going into this part here, which is stamped on an R. One side has got a locating lug. So I'm just going to push that into position. So it's going in just like that. And we will have access to a screw hole underneath here, which is the FP01 screw going in there. You know what, I think I might bundle the next two stages together because I've got a funny feeling we're going to be doing exactly the same on the next stage, but we'll see how that goes. Let's bring over this section again here. And I have zoomed up the top camera. I'm going to be taking these two holes, just locating them on this section here and here. Now, once again, these are held in with those FP01 screws. And then it's just a case of taking the top section here, which is going over here and just pushing this down into place. So there we go. That's on just like that. Take what we just created at the start of this stage, and quite simply having it this way round, it's just going to be fitting it over the top there. And I'm going to be using some FD01 screws to hold that in. One of these on this side over here uses the FD01, which is a metal screw. But the one on this side uses the FP01 because that's a plastic screw. And there we go. That is that in place. Now I'm guessing that in stage 106, we're going to be doing exactly the same thing on the other side. Let's see if I'm right. This is the magazine. And I am right. As you see, we've got these parts here we're going to be saving for later, but we're doing exactly the same as what we've just done here. So I'm going to get that done now. So I've got all the parts here. And once again, I'm going to take this smaller pipe here. That's going to be going in this way, just like this. Held in from the other side with an FP01 screw. Bring over what we were working on last time in a similar way to what we've done there. Putting this over these two sections just here and here. And securing them with FP01 screws. Put this part just over the top and press that down. Then we're going to be taking this part here, putting this over the top again. FP screw in there, FD screw there. And with both of those in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. Okay, in stage 107, here's the magazine. See what we're going to be doing. We've got some electric wires here by the look of it. We're not using those though. We are going to be using the parts for 106, putting this into place. So that's looking just like this. And here's the parts for 106. We haven't seen them. Get this open. Bring over what we've been creating so far. And I'm going to be taking this metal section here, and it is metal, having it this way round and putting this into place just here. I'm just doing a quick test fit to see how that'll fit. As you can see, looking pretty good. So I'm holding that in with FD01 screws. Need two of these. Turn it over, and then in this point here, I've got a lamp unit to put in, which looks just like this. Now this does have a locating lug at the top, so it's just a case of lining this up and pushing this in. So that's in position, as you can see on the top camera, but it's held in from the other side with FP02 screws. It'll be a bit tricky getting this in, but it will go. Then it's just a case of putting this lens in. As you can see, we've got a notch at the top of that lens, which is just going to match the notch that we've got on that reflector there. There you go. When that's in position, it should look like that. That's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 108, here's the magazine. It looks like we're putting the reflector into the other side here. And then we're going to be putting the electrics in, and it looks like we're putting the window in position as well. So this whole section is pretty much complete at the end of this. Okay, so I need all the parts for stage 107 here. It's going to start very similar to what we've just done because we're going to be putting the reflector in first. And just securing this in with those FPO2 screws. So that's the reflector in, and then once again put the lens on. So they should look like that. All that's left to do then is turn it over and put lead 09 with an LED on it in this side. Just push that all the way in. And then lead 8 will be going on the other side over here. So once those lights are in, I need stage 108 here, which is the window. Get that out. And this is just a clip in. So all we're going to do is align the bottom sections up here, just like this. And then just clip in the top sections and the sides here. So that should fit in nice and flush. That's the window in. That's all there is to do in that stage. So believe it or not, even though this is the penultimate stage, I'm going to do both of these stages together because there isn't a lot to do in them by the look of it, especially this stage where we've only got 3 items here, which I'm just going to be adding a clip to, putting this into the car. That's all I'm doing now. Let's have a look at the last stage. This is the last stage here. Look at the magazine. And it looks like we're doing exactly the same on the other side here. And then it's just a case of marrying up this rear section. I'm sure this is going to be a lot harder than it looks. Into this section and connecting the wires up. Okay, let's do this. So here's the parts for stage 109. First thing I want to do is take this clip, putting it this way round. We do have a locating lug in this clip, so we can clip it into the side just there. It's going to be held in with an FPO1 screw. So I'm just going to get that into the side here. Okay. Bring over the rear here. Now this is going to be going in, let me get my bearings, this way round. It's tail light housing. It's going to go in here just like this. We want to make sure that the wire is going underneath this section, so it's sitting in like that. Now you want to make sure that the wire is fed through that hole that you can see just in the corner there. I'm securing this down with FDO1 screws. I want to save this little chain just for a second, because in the last stage now, exactly the same thing. I'm just going to be putting the clip in and holding it in with an FPO1 screw, making sure this wire goes through a little hole at the bottom there, and get this into place. Once again, securing that down with FDO1 screws. Now this wire that we've got coming from here, which is 08, I want to pass through the hole that I've got on one side here, and then pass it through the hole just on the other side here. So now both of these wires here are coming out of this side of the car. And I'm going to be plugging these wires into their respective ports. So 8 will go with 8. And 9 will go with 9. Now I'm going to wrap these wires around this section here. But what I am going to do, hopefully you can see this on one of the cameras. So we've got some holes just into the side of these housing sections here, which I'm going to be putting into these clips. So I just need to click in. Got one side in. You should hear it click when you put the other side in. There we go. And that's how you mount this rear section to the car. Now I'm just going to see how it shuts. Shuts really good. I like that. But what we need to do is I'm going to tidy these wires up, I think. And then I just need to put these chains in. So one side of the chain goes into the clip that we put in first off. Starting to think I should have put that chain in before I attach the car. So one side's in there, and the other side just clips into the hole on this side. So I'm going to get one in, just to show you how that looks. Do the same on the other side. And there you go. That's both of the chains in, just like that, as you can see. So I can put that down and lock it into position. The car is almost finished. All that's left to do, like I said, is to put these parts in here. So here's the last one going in. This is the last thing that we're doing on this build. Put that in there. There you go. That's all 4 of those in place. And that's all there is to do in that stage, all there is to do in that pack, all there is to do in that build. And this is the finished Ford GT. It looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Wow. So let me just put that down there. Oh, just like that. And I'm going to get some beauty shots done. And as you can see in those beauty shots, all the lights are working as well. So another successful build. I'm so happy with that. I really hope you like this build. I enjoy building this one. Trust me, if this comes back and you're looking to a place to get into part work build models, you'll be a lot worse than doing this one. I think this is quite an easy going one to do, and it's easier to go together than some of the ones that we have done previously. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.